Hi, welcome back to the Daily Increment. I'm Daniel Susser, Agile Coach, and today we're going to be talking about focus. So in the last couple of days we've spoken about the minimal viable product, building one thing to test it early. But why can't you build two things and test them early? You could test assumption number one and you could test assumption number two. You could learn about that one and you could learn about that one. Just do them both at the same time. Two focuses, it's fine, right? No, focus. Focus on one thing at a time. And the reason is like this. Human beings can only focus on one thing at a time. If you look at what you're trying to do at any one time in your day, you can focus on one activity. You can focus on one activity, and then if you have a second priority, you can change your focus and focus on the second activity. And then, if you want to focus on the first activity again, you need to pay your attention back to the first activity. And then if you want to focus on the second one, you've got to go back and back and back. And each time that you change attention, you have switching costs. You have focus dilation. There's lots of words for it, but it takes a lot of energy and it takes some time to be able to get back into one of the other tasks if you've got two priorities. So that's from one person's point of view. So if you've got a team and you're giving them two things to focus on, situation one is that they focus on both of them, in which case they have to switch back and forth and you're getting less time out of each of those switchings. Or option two is you give two things to focus on for your team. Two is probably being generous, you're probably giving 7. Give two things to focus on for your team, in which case you're splitting them in two. Half the team can focus on one thing, half the team can focus on the other. And maybe that works. But while Team A is getting really good at thing A, Team B is getting really good at thing B, they're both getting a little bit behind on each other's ones. So the value of having a team of multi-skilled people who can communicate well and who share a vision of where you're trying to go is that they can happily switch between each other's tasks so that whatever needs to be done for either thing A or thing B can be done by any of the team as much as possible. If the way that you're giving them too many focuses means that they're falling behind on each other's areas of expertise, it takes them even longer when they need to all focus on thing A. It takes them a little bit longer to get up to speed because the people who are doing thing B in the last couple of weeks have to say, remind me where you got to, what did you learn? Oh, you changed that thing? Oh, I didn't know about that. It takes them longer to do that, whereas if everyone's focusing on the same thing at the same time, they can all learn the same stuff at the same time, develop it together, and have shared understanding of the platform they're working on. So in a software context, that's incredibly important because in a complex system where there's lots of different lines of code going on and there's lots of things that can go wrong, the one valuable thing that your team has is shared understanding of the problem and how to fix it. And as soon as you get them to multitask, you either ruin their own ability to have a really shared understanding and a good understanding and a focused understanding of what's going on, or you divide the team up and you create two silos who are each slightly less able to work on each of the other things as they were from the beginning. So the other reason is that you might think that if we get them to multitask, then it'll get done sooner because we've started sooner. But if it takes them longer to do thing A and thing B at the same time, why don't you decide which of them is most important, thing A or thing B? Let's say it's thing A, and get them to do thing A first. And then when they're done with thing A, they'll get thing B done, focused second, and they will both be shorter because there's no switching cost. They're not having to spend time reorienting themselves to the challenge of understanding their task. So thing A takes a little bit less time than if they multitasked, and thing A takes a little bit less time than if it's multitasked. I heard something at work today that I was concerned about, which is the team said to me, well, we've been told we need to start on this project by September. And I said, probably a little bit too excessively, I don't care when we need to start it by. The important thing is when we need to finish it by. Because if starting something in September means we have to multitask, the thing that we started in September will be done later because we have less focus and less understanding of it. So if you're in a business or you're in a situation where you're asking your team to multitask on something so that it feels like it's getting started sooner, then you're focusing on the wrong thing and stop it. What you should be doing is focusing on how to finish the thing quicker. It doesn't matter if the thing is started sooner, if the whole thing gets finished later. You want to start the thing later if that means that you can finish it sooner. It's about when you can deliver that value. So, in summary, for an agile team, try and give them as few focuses as possible, ideally one at a time in order of value. It might mean that someone has to wait to have their thing started on. You might have to say to them, we'll start working on your thing in a week, but it'll only take a week. We could start on it now, but it'll take longer. Agile team, give them small, ideally one focus, get the whole team together to work on that. That reduces the switching cost between them changing topic, and it reduces the knowledge silos in the team, and it brings them all forward together, and it gets everything done sooner, and it makes everything simple, and then you don't have to manage the multitasking going on. Focus on one thing, it makes everything better. And I should add, I've been making these videos for a few days, and if you're enjoying them, like them, subscribe to them. I'm going to keep going as long as people say nice things about them. I'm going to tell you stuff about my beliefs in what makes a good agile team, what makes a good lean scenario, what helps people be productive, what helps you focus as a team to get shit done in your organization. So, like it, subscribe it, tell me what stuff you want to hear more of, disagree with me in the comment section, and then I shall listen to you, my friends. See you tomorrow.